Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you for joining me here today. This is your one-stop shop for cryptocurrency analysis, among other things. Now we're taking a look at XRP, which is another one of my community requests. So thank you very much for requesting that I cover this again. I recognize the market isn't phenomenal here today, but there's still really good opportunities, right? So we got to take a look at that and see if we can identify good entry point and best practice. I always like to instill that in all of my videos. Now, bear in mind, I'm not a financial advisor. This is for educational purposes only. You always need to do your own research, but you are in very, very good hands. I promise you that I have years of trading experience, and I always like to help educate others in building their wealth. Okay, so we'll cover that here today. Just note also that there is a link to my Patreon account if you'd like to show your support. Thank you so much to all my community right now so far. So you're all very, very awesome. Really, really appreciate you. I also have a link to my Telegram and Discord channel. Yes. Feel free to reference that as well in your own due time, and we'll look forward to getting to the next steps here. So let's take a look at XRP. Let's check it out. All right, folks, let's go ahead and take a closer look at XRP. And just before we do, we always preface with Bitcoin and Ethereum. So if you're new to the channel, we just like to look at that really quick to understand, big picture perspective, to kind of get an understanding of what's going on in the market and how it's affecting the altcoins that we're taking a closer look at, right? Because obviously there's a correlation between Bitcoin and everything living and breathing in the crypto universe, right? So we'll take a look at that here first. All right, so looking at Bitcoin, to preface, I apologize, I am using Binance desktop application in this scenario, using TradingView within, and then to enable TradingView, just click on TradingView in the top right-hand corner. And this is a 4-hour chart on Bitcoin. So I always use a 4-hour chart because the moving averages are the most effective. They tell me they usually work the strongest essentially in the big picture. 200-day moving average is the most relevant, and the 50 is also pretty important when it comes to price action for Bitcoin. So as we can see, price is below both indicators, and unfortunately, price continues to go lower. So we're seeing these lower lows here. It keeps on testing the support level-ish of right around 32,600. It's hovering right now right at about 33,500, which is essentially the most recent low if you don't include the $30,000 even price reduction when the China candle bars came down, if that makes sense. All right, so we got the Elon candles, they refer to it as, the China candles. All unfortunate, I apologize, I'm laughing out of hysteria because this is just more so annoying, right? Like, come on, figure it out. Either go back up or just dump into 20,000 so we know that it's over, right? I still feel like we're in good shape. I think the price will recover. Will it get back up to 60? I don't know. I don't think so personally, but again, that's just me. In the years I've been trading, something that keeps going like this will likely continue until it finds its bottom. So hopefully we're not there yet. Anyways, we're not here to speculate. This is essentially a technical analysis. Just briefly, summarization for Bitcoin. We are looking at the 4-hour chart. And again, price is pretty low, but all the resistance levels are well above, so no need to even really mention those. Until we get past the 50-day moving average, I would say that that's our first immediate goal. We'll worry about the rest later. Okay, so just bear that in mind. That is, again, 4-hour chart for Bitcoin. Looking at Ethereum. Ethereum is also not so good. And as you can kind of tell, I don't know if you can see this pattern, but it's practically identical to Bitcoin. Okay, and the reason why is because Ethereum no longer is the coin that people migrate from Bitcoin to, right? So normally when Bitcoin goes sideways, we see this. Well, Bitcoin hasn't really been going sideways, so Ethereum is essentially just doing the exact same thing. When Bitcoin sells off, Ethereum does as well. So unfortunately, we see a lot of the same price action here. Problem is, it's under 2,000 now, which I believe was a major support level. So we'll see what happens with Ethereum. We do also have the death cross coming down here as well, which is never a good sign. Basically just works as a super strong resistance that pushes the price down even further. Okay? So not so great for Ethereum. Now let's take a look at XRP. And you could pretty much summarize the same thing. Unless you are shorting XRP right now, it's probably just a world of frustration as well. Now I've noticed XRP's gotten hit pretty hard, likely because of financial ramifications for China and all that, likely integrating to this. Again, this isn't a fundamental analysis, but I'm sure that that is tying in here based on the kind of the foundation of XRP and how it works. So looking at this here, just strictly technical chart, we're going to start with a 1-day chart first. Price is well below the 50, and it almost tested the 200-day moving average. So this is both good and bad. Good in the sense that the 200-day moving average usually carries the most weight, and that could be a good sign where the price will likely not continue any lower. 72 cents for XRP does appear to be a very good price, very affordable. But again, it depends on how you look at it, right? What is your perspective on that? So, I mean, you look back in, 2020, the price was averaging about 23 cents. So, like, can it go much lower? Yes, it technically can. Should it go much lower? Hard to say, because if you look here at the, two most recent all-time highs is about 77 cents, and the price is below that. So that's a little concerning. A lot of coins right now are well below their previous all-time highs. So that kind of tells us that the top is coming off, so to speak, but it doesn't mean it cannot come back and return. Because you look at the RSI is coming down closer to 30. XRP is extremely, extremely oversold right now. Let's take a look at the 4-hour chart. Yep, same sentiment as well. RSI is under 30. MACD shows that there is no convergence, so essentially it's continuing to go down even further. So I'd venture to guess we're going to see a bottom soon, because it's rare for the RSI to stay under 30 for too long. So I do think that there will be a return. If Bitcoin can just consolidate and stop being a jackass for the next 24 or 48 hours, then I think we're going to see some good movement here from XRP. It'll probably try to spike up and then wait for Bitcoin to likely pass the 50-day moving average or the resistance level of right around, I think 42,000. So we'll see what happens, but it makes sense that XRP is doing what it's doing right now, just based on the industry that it represents, as well as the fact that for the most part XRP does tend to follow Bitcoin quite closely. Minus some of these bull runs, as soon as Bitcoin started doing poorly recently, we do see that. But again, bear in mind also the price action, based on where the price action has been, for the most part, the average true range should be between 120 and 160. So for it to be down to 72 cents, this is just extremely low. So, it wouldn't be a terrible idea to average down your position, just based on the fact that we're as low as we can possibly get for now. Not to say it won't go any lower. But if Bitcoin stays over 30,000, we will see this price continue to go, probably sideways for a little while and then back up. So yeah, again, as long as pending Bitcoin's decision on what it wants to do, I would speculate that XRP will continue and recover quite nicely. Another thing to note too, if we look at the RSI, it is well under 30. Okay, that doesn't mean we need to buy it right now, because buying the bottom or trying to chase the bottom is never a good idea. But when this RSI line comes back up and perhaps passes the plane of 30, that might be a consideration to take entry. It's usually my interpretation of a good buy signal by looking at the RSI coming back over 30 or under 70, depending on where it's at, right? Again, that's the 4-hour chart. This is more specific to a swing trader. If you're going to be a swing trading, holding to say maybe for 1 to 30 days, then that would be a concept to use. The idea is to use the 4-hour chart when making that decision. Now, to take entry, you always want to look at a smaller time frame, but big picture, the RSI on the 4-hour chart does really tell us the most, so it's the best one to use in that scenario. If you're just going to be doing a day trade or something under 24 hours, then we want to stick to the 15-minute chart. So let's go ahead and take a look at that now. Let's turn off these guys here. I like to just remove the moving averages and add my EMA. I use the EMA 15, and that's different than what you'll see in the industry. A lot of times they'll use 9 and 20, but the 15 just kind of splits the difference and it works best for me. The VWAP is also one that I use. That's the volume weighted average price. Takes a 24-hour volume and expresses that as a price. So if we look at this here, the current price, according to the last 24 hours of volume, should be about 82 cents. So the price is under that. Therefore, it's working as a resistance level, and we want to wait for the price to come above in order to take entry, and we need that confirmation first. Okay? And when I say confirmation, I'm talking about 15 minutes. No less than 15 to 30 minutes of confirmation. So we want to see the price not only be above the EMA line, because you never want to buy into the EMA line. That's basically chasing the bottom. That's never a good sign. But what we want to look for is for the price to come above the EMA and to hold for at least 30 minutes. So we want to see 2 solid green bars. Let's see if I can get a closer look here. 2 solid green bars above the EMA line. Okay, so an example of 2 solid green bars, again, not the best because you're still chasing the bottom in this case, is this right here. You want to see 2 solid green bars. Okay, and that gives you more confirmation that the price is above that and going to stay above and continue to work its way up. Okay, so we want to see the price come above there and hold, as well as the fact that we want to see the price be above the VWAP. So me personally, I would not feel comfortable taking entry right now. I'd wait for the price to level out, perhaps consolidate a little further, let the EMA and the VWAP line catch up, and then perhaps consider to take an entry. So I would say we'd probably want to wait a few hours. As difficult as it might be to do that, it'd be the best way to go because it is still reducing in price, right? Another thing to note too is the RSI being extremely low, under 30. At least recently it was under 30. That's a sign of a potential buy signal, but again, you never want to buy based only on the RSI. You always use other indicators, right? So if you see the RSI is under 30, great, okay, cool, that's good, that's sign number 1. But if the EMA is still under, or correction, if the price is still under the EMA line, as well as the VWAP line, that may not be a good consideration because you can see that it just kept on coming down. I mean, look at the first time the RSI was crossed at 30 here, is right here. So say you'd gotten in right there because the RSI came over under 30, you would have been screwed because you would have paid 10 cents more than you needed to for the price because the fact that it kept going down, you didn't have confirmation above the EMA and the VWAP line. Yeah. So those are just things you want to use in combination with the RSI. RSI is a good just overall indicator if it's oversold or overbought, not a good standalone indicator. There is no true standalone indicator. I would say the best one to use if you had to, that if I had to live with only one with only one indicator for the rest of my life, it'd be the VWAP line because it just works so well because volume is very underrated, and knowing what the average volume is really helps us understand what the price should be. Okay, so right now the VWAP line, this blue line here, is trending above. That tells us that the price is considered to be under resistance and not a best entry point. So wait for the resistance line to be tested and broken and held above for no less than 30 minutes. Okay, again, 2 solid green bars. Quickly glancing at the 1 minute chart, same scenario here, really not much else to disseminate because obviously the price is still under VWAP, as well as the fact that we've got the EMA line is kind of hovering right around the price action. So it basically means that there's lower volume now and it's trying to kind of find its price. So me personally, if I'm day trading something like this, I always wait for again, confirmation. The price being under VWAP is not a good confirmation for me. So if I were to solely just say use the EMA line, what I would do is I'd wait for 3 solid green bars above the EMA line after it's been tested twice. And what I mean by that, let's see if I can get an example. It's kind of hard with the price kind of it's consistently coming down. But I guess here's a slight example. Not the best, but if you look right here, you see these green bars here. I would consider taking entry either at this point or at this point. And the reason why is because it's testing above the EMA lines, right? So that's a potential entry point there. That's not full confirmation though because the fact that it hasn't been tested twice. So if you see this come in here, you see the price coming up, and then it comes back down and kind of tests this line here and stays above, that's confirmation. So you probably add to your position there and or take entry at this point. Okay, and then if all goes well, you come up here and get out right as soon as the RSI peaks up over 70. So you see the RSI come up over 70, that's right as soon as you sell. Again, not a huge gain there, 4%, still pretty darn good, honestly, if you ask me. Again, depends on what you're leveraging and how much you are trading with. But generally speaking, that could get you that 1% growth that you're shooting for per day. Because if you can grow your account by 1% per day, you're going to be getting paid very, very big, very large eventually soon. Because it's just exponential and it's compounding interest. It essentially works extremely well. That is just my goal is to grow my account by 1% every day. So I love little gains like this. So try to get your mindset away from 10x, 20x, 30x, because all these other YouTubers they'll fill your heads with the fact that it has so much potential and you buy now in hype city. It doesn't do you any good when the price continues to come down if you don't find the actual bottom. Chasing the bottom is terrible. You never want to do that. You always want to be very careful and take your wins when you can, right? So take your profit when you can. It's the best way to become a profitable trader, is not to hold on for dear life. Again, you can get lucky sometimes, but you can't get lucky all the time. You got to be smart and you got to be calculated. So always have a good risk tolerance. I always ensure my risk tolerance is 2 to 1. So if I'm going to risk, just say losing 1%, I'm going to try to shoot for a 2% gain. In this case, a 4% gain is fantastic, because that really helps me grow my wallet, right? Again, just little things you want to kind of be aware of. I'll have more education on this later. I'm going to start another Telegram group too as well for signals, so you can all kind of stay in the know there as well. That'll be available through my Patreon account. But I'm also going to roll out with some training videos too to kind of help understand what I'm referring to, with risk management and things that are extremely important to know as a trader, that a lot of crypto traders don't know, because they're just kind of arbitrarily put their money in and kind of hope for the best, right? They buy into the hype and unfortunately lose a lot in that hype process as well. Okay. Either way, enough about my high horse here. Apologize for the rambling. I tend to do this sometimes, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.